Hello, hello, hello. The Orlando Magic's first Summer League game is upon us. There's a few names on the roster you know, but most of them you don't. I'm going to give you a list of 5 names of players to watch during the Summer League who are looking to impress so they can get one of our last two-way contracts. I'm also going to give a refresher on what a two-way contract is. But first, some housekeeping. This is the Orlando Magic Nation, your source for all things Orlando Magic on YouTube. For Orlando Magic fans, by an Orlando Magic fan. Thank you very much for clicking on this video and spending some time with me. I really, really appreciate you. While you're here, click subscribe so you can join the community and stay up to date on all Magic content that I produce. You can be like Blake Bickerstaff. Shout out to you, Blake, for being my very first subscriber last week. It really helps the channel by you being subscribed. So thank you. Also, while you're here, might as well click the like button. The like button is going to help the channel grow. So I really appreciate you just smashing that button real quick. And lastly, drop down in the comments your location, either your city or your country that you're watching this. I want to see just how far the little channel is starting to reach, and also maybe you might find an Orlando Magic fan in your town. So let's get started. This summer league, the Las Vegas Summer League is about to start, or at least again for the Orlando Magic, it's going to start tomorrow. I've given the schedule before, but here are the games now in a prettier font. It starts tomorrow at Eastern Time, 7:30 p.m. And then we have a few other games against Toronto, then OKC, and then Brooklyn. So we have 4 games that we're going to be playing in the Las Vegas Summer League, and that is the schedule for it. The the player that we're going to be watching for most is Tristan. Tristan, if you watch the team, if you're not new to the team, Tristan was our rookie last year, and here are some of the highlights from his year. But the big thing we're looking for from him is really to step up. Last year he played a good amount, especially when Paolo and Franz got injured. Then he started to kind of fade into the background, mostly because his minutes were cut for the most part, just because to be honest, I don't really know. I know there were some games that he had 0 points. He didn't shoot super well. He was a bit streaky, but there's a lot of intangibles that he brings that I feel like he should have played a bit more. So the Summer League is going to be a way for him to show how much better he's gotten. Summer League numbers and the performance in Summer League isn't always indicative of how they're going to play in the regular season, but just for him to have the ownership of leading the team, I think is going to be very beneficial for him. We saw that a bit with AB last year when he came out and he was the one that it felt was really taking ownership of the team. By the end of the regular season, AB finally started to feel like he was more involved. So let's just hope that this experience is going to be similar for Tristan, that he's going to take more ownership and he's going to be the one that's going to be playmaking more and being on ball more, especially with the second unit. Now that hopefully he's going to be asked to do more. I really see him as more of a Franz Wagner type, where as you see by some of these passes that he's doing, that he has good court awareness. There's a nice pass there. So I really think that he has a lot of other things than just scoring. He's a pretty good defender. He has good passing, and it's just a jump shot. If he can shoot better, obviously that'll keep him on the floor. If you look at his numbers, he played 74 games last year with a 7-3-1 numbers, 7 points per game, 3 rebounds per game, and 1.5 assists. And that's what it is. See, the shooting numbers at only 33.5%. That's kind of, I think, what helped. Well, nobody really shot good in the Magic last year, but I think that's what kept him from cracking the rotation later on in the season once everybody was healthy. But as a starter, like I said, he started a lot during the early part of the season. It was up to 9, 4, and 1, almost 2 assists a game. So again, the jump shot is what he's going to need to work on. And at 31%, that's not going to cut it, especially now that the team hopefully is going to have a better offense. So we really are not going to be able to have too many guys that are not able to shoot on the court at any point. Other names that you're going to know is Chase Richardson, obviously Jase Richardson, so it doesn't sound like Chase. He was our first round draft pick. He's 6'1". Luckily, he dropped to us just because of his measurables. Let's hope that that's not going to be something that impedes his progress in the NBA. These are his stats here. He was at Michigan State, if you didn't know that. He played a total of 36 games with 12 points per game, 3 rebounds, 1.9 assists. The big thing with him that we hope translates from the college ranks to the NBA is his shooting. So as a starter, he shot 42% from three, and when he came off the bench or total for the season, he had 41%. So as a starter, he started 15 games at the end of the regular season for the Spartans. His scoring went up to 16 points, 4 rebounds, and 1.7 assists per game. So that's what we're hoping that now, what he's going to do during the summer league, it's again, they install the offense in the summer league. So this will be the first time the rookies have the opportunity to run the plays, to learn the defense, to learn the offense, do all of that stuff. Hopefully, the new coaching staff is going to be helping Coach Amir install all of that stuff in there. Hopefully, there's more motions that we have, more pick and rolls, more ball movement. Hopefully, that's something that we started to incorporate already in the summer league. And the big thing for Jase is to make sure that he's not getting pushed around on defense, that his shooting is has come along. He's been battling a bit of ankle issue recently, so let's just hope that that's already cleared up and he's going to be available for the first at least the first two games because that's normally the bulk of the games played for the high profile rookies or second year guys. So hopefully we get a good showing from Jace because otherwise then it becomes oh, what's wrong with Jace? So he's too small and this and that, and we don't want that narrative. The other Our other draft pick Noah Penda will also be there. He's more of a defender. Obviously, if his offense has come along from the French league that he came, he played 28 games over in the French league. So the idea is that he's going to be more of a lockdown defender, but he scored 10 points a game, 5 rebounds, 2.6 assists. So his jump shot isn't where Jace's is. He shot 32.2% on three. Again, the idea is Noah's going to be more of a defender, but the more we get offensively from him, the better. That'll be incredible. We can't really have many zero offensive players, even with as great a defense that he might present. So let's hope that he's developed a jump shot, or he has developed, or he will develop that jump shot. The last name of the knowns, which might be an unknown for most, but Etan Thompson. He's been on a two-way contract. He was on one of the two-way contracts later on at the end of last year. So he's continuing with the Magic. So he's been playing at Osceola last season. Here are his totals in 31 games in the G League: 18.4 points per game, 4.9 rebounds, and 3.2 assists with 39% shooting. So he's a 6'5" guard, high IQ, steady. It seems that his explosiveness is not where it should be for the NBA. So I think that's the thing that's been holding him back a bit. He's an okay shooter. He scores well enough in the G League. Obviously, it's not the NBA, but still, it sounds to me after reading a few articles that he's a bit more like Tyus, and that he is going to manage the game pretty well. He's not explosive. He's just going to do the right thing each time. So he's going to be good. I'm expecting that he'll be around just to add some more depth on the main roster. So those are the names of the people that are the knowns, let's say. Now, a bit about the two-way contracts, just so that we understand what the other guys are going to be playing for. Two-way contracts are contracts that basically you're on the roster of the main team, but you also are able to play in the G League. So you in the end, you play the majority of your games in the G League. That's typically what happens, unless there's a bunch of injuries on the team or and you need to be called up. It's kind of like the minor leagues in a way in baseball, where you're called up if there is injury. So last year, you would remember that Trevelin Queen played a lot during our Paulo and Franz injury battles, and then Jalen as well. So that's when Trevelyan really played a lot, and so he was our kind of our number one guy that played off the G League. Then we also had Mac. Mac he's no longer with the team, and he played one or two games here and there, but that wasn't our main guy was Treblin. So we're looking for a new main guy, let's say, especially that because the team only has 14 contracts or 14 main guys on the roster. So we're going to need these three G League or two-way contracts to supplement the rest of the roster. So to read through some of this stuff. They must have fewer than 4 years NBA experience. So technically, uh, Caleb Caleb Houston could sign a two-way deal with the Magic, but I don't think that's something that he's going to want to do. But that's something that technically he could. Contracts are 1 or 2 years. If you're signed before the season, then you're paid half of what the rookie minimum is. This year, it's going to be a little over $600,000. If you're signed after the season started, then it's a prorated amount, and there's a calculation and all that. I like to bring numbers, but I'm not going to go into that much. One single player can play a max of 50 games. That's how one player. That's the max that they can play. Uh, if a team is under 15, that's what it's called when you have less than 15 full-time contracts on your roster, which is what the Magic are. All the two ways combined can play 90 games total. So again, so that let's say of the three that we have, if each of the three could play 30 games to get up to 90 games total. So you do the math, you're like 90 games, there's only 82 games. That's again, if there's injury, hopefully we don't have any injuries, and we have to have two of our guys active, two of our two-way guys active for a game, then that cuts into those 90 because it seems the Magic are going to roll into the season with only 14 full-time contracts on the books. So that's something to think about as well. It's likely not going to be an issue, but like Jordan Black, the 8616 in one of the comments, one of the guys who viewed one of my previous videos asked about the Dallas Mavericks had a situation last year that they were getting really close to not having enough players to even start a game because of so many injuries that they had, and they were used up most of the games for the two-way contracts. So it can get a bit finicky there. We haven't had any issues really that big, but that's something that's there. And lastly, if one of the two-way contracts isn't converted to a full-time contract, which is something that they could do during the season, especially because the Magic have a roster spot available. If they're not converted, then if they stay a two-way contract, then they're not eligible to play in the playoffs. So some of the names I've mentioned. So I said five names or five names I was going to give you. I had to talk about those other guys just so you knew about them. But the five names of the guys that you don't know that are hoping to impress for the during the summer league. So this is the front court that I put together. So there's Santos. They're not related, but one's Nate Santos. He's a 6'7" forward. He played at Dayton last year, so he's relatively young. 34 games. He shot 41.8%, scoring 14.3 points a game, 5.6 rebounds, 1.6 assists. I would say guard is going to be where we're going to be a bit more short. So that's why I think Etan Thompson is going to be kind of with the team more often in the season. He may not be active for a lot of the games. He might be in street clothes, but I think he's going to be more active or he's going to be there. But I think also if we have some injuries in the front court, especially with Jonathan Isaacs, who unfortunately will get injured here and there. Hopefully, there aren't too many other injuries to the front court. But I would say front court's also a place that maybe we should have at least one of our two ways uh, uh, brought in for. So with Nate, he's like I said, that was his stuff. Then there was another Santos, Marcio Santos. He played in the German league last year. He had 17 games. In 17 games, he also he shot 44% from three, 7.6 points per game, 3.2 rebounds, and zero point 0.9 assists per game. So let's just say he's more of a gunner. He's more of a shooter. And I think that's the thing with both with Nate and Marcio. I think the idea for them is they're more spot ups. They're not gonna drive the ball too much. They're more, gonna be more of 3 point shooting options. If that's something that we wanted to do with the deep bench guys, then that's going to be something that we have there. People that do not shoot threes is what are the center options there? Kyler Kelly. There's two centers that are two traditional centers, I would say, on the roster for the summer league. One is Lynn Kidd. He's more of an offensive option, and this one is more defensive options. Kyler Kelly. There's one additional name I gave you with Lynn Kidd. Kyler Kelly. These are his stats. He played sparingly in the NBA, so 3 points a game, nothing like that. He didn't even attempt a three, so he's not going to be that. He's going to be way more of a rim runner, Goga type, let's say. In the G League, he played 18 games, 11 points per game in the G League, 6 rebounds. And his last season in Oregon State, in 31 games, he also averaged 11.1. What a coincidence. Points per game and 5.3 rebounds. So that's what he's going to bring. He's going to bring more defense. He's not going to be the person that's going to score you a bunch of points. He's going to be probably a pick and roll type of finishers, a lob finisher. That's going to be his thing. But so either we have one guard, one forward, and one center as our three two-way contracts. So I don't know. Like we're going to be waiting for Mo to come back probably later on in the season. So I think it wouldn't hurt to have Kyler on, but I don't think the Magic are going to be using that on there. But just as an FYI as well, these aren't the only guys that we're able to sign. So again, there's 19 people on the roster. I'm going to give you overall in the end. I'm going to talk about 10 with the main guys and then the unknown guys. That doesn't mean that we have to take a player from our summer league team. We can take a player from another team's summer league if they don't pick them up. So last year we had Jay Huff on our summer league team. He ended up being signed by Memphis, and now he's been traded to Indiana. So just know that as well. But I'm giving you names if you're watching the games so that you know who there is. And then these are the guards that we have as well. Like I mentioned, we already have Etan Thompson, so I don't really know if we're going to have two guards as our in our two-way contracts. But here's some info. Wendell Moore used to play. He played with Paolo at Duke. He's played 90 games in the NBA, very sparingly, 2.3 points per game. It's his shot that's keeping him back. He's 25% three-point shooter. Even in the G League, he's only shooting 31%. He didn't play in the G League last year. 2 years ago, he played 8 games in the G League, scoring 19 points a game, 4 rebounds a game, shooting 31%. Not going to cut it. At Duke, he shot pretty well, so maybe he just needs to go to FIBA or he needs to go somewhere else where the 3 point line is a bit shorter or a bit closer to to the basket. And then there's Alondes Williams. He also played sparingly in the NBA, 1 points per game, but in the G League is where he's really flourishing. 18.1 points per game in 32 games last year. Again, the shot is not where it needs to be, 32.9%. At Wake, same thing. His last season at Wake Forest, he only shot 28%, but he still scores 18 points a game. So he's obviously a pretty good finisher. He gets his points, but it's definitely not off jump shots. And lastly, Jalen Crutcher. Crutcher. Ooh, I'm sorry if I said that wrong. He's only. I felt bad for putting this on here. He's only played one game in the NBA, basically 0 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists. So that's that. But I wanted to be complete. So in the G League, he had 19.4 points a game on 30 games played, shooting 40% from three. And his last season at Dayton, the same thing, at 37% from three, playing 24 games, averaging 17.4 points per game, 3.5 rebounds, and 4.8 assists. So I would say those are the three contenders I would say from our from our summer league team to be a part of the rotation or options that we might use to sign as one of our two-way contracts. So that's kind of your primer right now, so that you know who to watch. The summer league stats in the summer league play, obviously, like I mentioned before, isn't always what it's cracked up to be, and it's not always the end all be all on how they'll perform. But if somebody does pop in a big way, then obviously they're going to draw the eyes of the whole NBA because all the NBA is there. So that's where all the NBA junkies are. They're watching the summer league. So I'm going to be in Vegas the 13th of July through the 20th. So if you happen to see me out there, if you go out for whatever reason, please say hi, and that's that. So again, I want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate you spending the time talking magic with me. There's going to be more content coming out, so hit the subscribe button to join the community. And that's pretty much it, what it's going to be here. So like the video if you felt that it was helpful. All I'm here for is for you guys. So if there's any type of content that you're looking for the Magic, a bit more of an explainer about the salary cap, a bit more explaining about different aspects about the team, just drop it in the comments just so that I can see and I can understand some of the content that you guys would want. Because again, I'm here to help you guys along the way to your Magic fandom. A lot of you guys have been around since 1989, so that's great. Especially looking at some of the statistics on my on the page. You're a bit older, so you probably know it all. But if you just like spending time, I appreciate it as well. So thank you very much. I hope you guys have a great night.